I only had two provisions with the sale of that house. One, that they loved the home, because we just had loved that home. And part of our ministry
we had
was
built
in
a
that
chapel.
home. We built a chapel. And that whoever bought the house would keep it as a chapel.
That room, which was a big room.
So, okay.
We had masses in there. Father Phil celebrated mass in there. Our other son, Father Jay Voorhees, celebrated mass. Many priests celebrated mass in that room.
Okay. Father Cohen. Anyway. March the 11th.
March the 11th is the first day in the octave of the Feast of St. Joseph. March the 11th. It was a Sunday in 1996.
Now, if I said this to anybody else but the charismatic renewal,
they would think we're crazy.
I'd lost it all.
And you may even think we're...
I turned to my real estate.
Real estate says to us, I have two people that want to come and look at your house on Sunday afternoon. We said, okay, and we leave. We have to leave. We get everything in order, and we leave.
And I say to her, you're going to receive, now I never do this so much, you know. I said, you're going to because I don't like to look like an idiot. You're going to receive a deposit today, and those are the people that are going to buy this house. She had been dying for almost a year, and here it was, I think 3 years later, was it, honey?
Yeah.
And Tony says to her husband, you know, let's go and look at the Lord's house.
Let's see what they did with it.
Yeah, because we had added 1,600 feet to the house. And let's see, I heard they had put in a chapel and so forth. When they walked into the house,
well, they got
shared,
the real estate agent
yeah.
to get them in, and so this was not the two people. This was a third person that she didn't even tell us about, but as soon as they walked in the house.
The children went into different rooms and said, this is my room, this is my room. Everything, the house was custom built for them. And guess what? They have a children's prayer meeting every Monday night.
They have a children's prayer group.
And they pray in that chapel.
Every Monday night.
The Hernandez family prays the rosary in that chapel. It was St. Joseph. He did act on our behalf, but he did not allow us to be led into disaster. So when you pray with faith. Don't tell God. One time we were praying, and you know, I said, I want it now. And my Lucelena said, I won't pray that.
I'm not praying that one.
And that, you know, a child shall lead you. She was right. Anyway, yes, son.
Were they there? They were there when your house was blessed too.
Yes,
That's right.
right. They were.
They
That's
were there.
right, son.
This
That's
couple had been with, I mean, we had been very close from the day we moved in there in 1992, and here it is 4.5 years later, 4.5 years later, in 91 we moved in, so it's 5 years later, and they were the ones that bought the house.
You know that, just an aside, he would come over. The little child was diagnosed with leukemia as a baby, and he was
a doctor, and she was a nurse, and of course this just kills him because they've got all these skills and tools, and they can't do anything for the child.
And this child was we could tell, I could write a book
Beautiful
about the
little
child.
girl.
But sometimes it got hard, and he would come over and he would just sit in our home. He'd go up to our library and just sit there.
Wouldn't even talk, just sit.
But the last image I have of them is not when they bought our house, but when the mommy and daddy were sitting on the bed, and she was holding little Katie in her arms. And she looked like Our Lady of the Pietà.
She's a very big girl.
She's a very
and
big
the baby,
girl.
of course, was a very small child.
And all of a sudden, she turned to her husband and she said, Daddy, it's time to say goodbye to Katie.
To let Katie
tell
go
her
home.
it's all right to go home. They are blessing our home. I couldn't have wanted more for us than to, I felt like I was leaving my home to family. So when we were going to finally get about building the communication center, see, we made a mission statement. Forgive us for telling you all about this. In 1986. And without knowing, we fulfilled everything. Like we said, books.
We didn't know we were going to write books
We
or
thought we were
make
gonna-
television programs. We thought we were going to distribute somebody else's
Catholic
books
books.
and somebody else's television
We
programs.
didn't think we'd make videos. We distribute other people's
We were going to have a
videos.
van, which brought, moved, and we have a van. Everything that we said we were going to do, we did, except that we were the ones that did it, which we didn't
A
expect.
newsletter? Well, the newsletter we used to send out was 1 page. We never thought it'd become a 28-page newspaper.
In color, full color.
You see how God works. The only thing that we didn't fulfill, and was very heavy on my cross, was
The communication.
the communication center.
And so this is not ours. This is what we're envisioning, and this is what we plan to build, a California mission.
The bishop said, one of the problems where we live is that the missionaries never got there. In every part of California, practically. The mountains are named after the
Saints.
angels, the saints, Blessed Mother. And then and the streets, they all have Hispanic names after saints, after the holy ones, and not Sacramento. And we knew that what God was saying is the missionaries must come to Sacramento. We also wrote and made a program about Junipero Serra, who was very maligned. And so we wanted to become, he has become part of our patron saints, like Junipero Serra. But at that time, we didn't have the idea really of the mission when we first started. But Brother Joseph, who is an engineer, and my son Phil, they're both ex-engineers, they say I'm a frustrated engineer. When we went over to see Mother's, we've been visiting Mother's farm that she's building. And Mother now is building a wall around that farm. Just as aside.
Just the wall.
Just as an aside.
Cost a fortune.
None of our money
None of the donations that come from anybody
goes to the
the
building
farm.
of that farm.
There are 5 families that are paying for the entire convent, the monastery and convent, which will be out in the farm. And it's millions of dollars, and they have paid the money. And this one lady who has been giving, she's given over $1 million, she says, the mother thanks her. She said, well, really, I haven't given anything, because since I've given you that money, I've doubled that in income. See how the Lord gives you back when you give, He gives back? And so none of anything that's part of that has nothing to do with like when we give books to the monastery gift shop, and they sell them, and that goes to the convent. We give television programs. We give to EWTN, and that goes to EWTN.
So
None of it
two
goes.
separate entities.
And what we give to EWTN does not go to the monastery, and what we give to the monastery doesn't go to the network. So what they gave to the farm, these 5 families, that is only for the farm.
So the same thing with our ministry. Every time you buy a book, any money that you give goes to the non-profit organization. That none of that comes to any of us, because we live a shared life of poverty. I know I don't look it, but the suit is 20 years old. Okay, but when we thought about building a wall, now we had to have a wall because
we have a lot of expensive equipment.
You've got to come and visit us. You're all welcome to come and visit us.
See, if you're in the city, like right now we're in Rancho Cordova, which is a business park, well, you've got some sort of security there. But when you go out into the hills or the mountains and you put a building up, you've got to have some kind of security, or all your equipment's going to be gone. So we figured, how can we secure it? If we try and build a wall about it, it's going to cost more than the building itself. And we thought of the California Mission.
That's what the California Mission was.
The California Mission
was
a fortress in a sense, in that they protected themselves against invasion. It's a 4-sided unit, and it's completely blocked off from the outside. So this is the security that we're going to have in the compound.
Oh, and the Holy House. That's what I was trying to
Let's
tell you about St. Joseph.
I was going to tell you about the Holy House. You wouldn't let me.
Isn't he cute?
Now, when St. Joseph saved us from near ruination, and then after that sold our house, we made a promise to St. Joseph that we would build a replica of the Holy House of Loreto in California, in Sacramento. Now, the house itself is only 15 by 33. It's a very small house, but of course you've got to have more than that, because you're going to have people going in and parking or whatever. But we vowed that we would build this replica of the Holy House. And to that end, in 1996, we went over to Loreto, spoke to the people at the shrine and the bishop, and we bought,
Archbishop.
see the statue of Our Lady? We bought an exact duplicate, an exact replica of that statue, which is in our office in Rancho Cordova. We also got a commitment from the bishop, and he is a beautiful Archbishop of Ancona, who is also the Bishop of Loreto, that when the chapel is done, when the Holy House is done, he will come to California and with our bishop consecrate it and bless it. So you see the way the mission works. This is the mission church. You have, these will be all the workshops and pilgrimage places and stuff like that.
Bedrooms for people to stay.
But this will be the mission church, and in the mission church will be the Holy House. The same as it is now. It's inside a huge church. It'll be the same in the mission. So,
now, the reason we share this with you is
see, that's the journey and the dream.
It becomes very evident in our lives. People ask us all the time, I want to do what you do. And then we say, that's why you'll never do it. All you want to do is say yes. No pre-designs. When people come and ask to join our ministry, and they tell us exactly what they're going to do, we say to them, you probably will never do it. Of course they'll do it, but, okay.
We had a young man come to us and say, I want to make television programs like you. I need $1 million.
I said, you don't want a ministry, you want a business.
$1 million. He said, I've got to support my family. I've got to pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. If that's what you're going to do, it'll never happen because you're waiting to get that $1 million before you ever do anything.
That's not the way it goes. The way it goes is vulnerability.
The way it is you say you're going to do it, you commit to do it, and then you beg.
Okay, right now, the most important thing in my life is you. Right now. I'm not thinking about what's going on in California or in Italy, or it's you right now. And that's where you must live your life. One time we gave a talk in Arkansas, and you know those people are so innocent. It was where Brother Joseph lives. And we're talking, and the Lord puts it into our mouth to talk about the heresies attacking the church right now.
And the problems that we're running into in the church in the United States, and we're going on and on about these things, and it looks like we're from Mars. They have no idea what we're talking about. And as we left, we said to Brother Joseph, do you think we made a mistake? Should we not have spoken about, maybe these people don't have the problems we're sharing.
And Brother Joseph turned to me and he said, I would just like to ask you one thing, Mama. If that were the last talk that you gave, would that be the talk? And I thought, and I said, yes. He said, then you did the will of God. That's all we are required to do is the will of God. Where He plants us.
At that moment.
At that moment.
We don't have to do monumental
things. Don't think about
it. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be, well, I want to do it. We had a friend who said, I want to work for the Lord 24 hours a day. And if I can't work for Him 24 hours a day, I won't work for Him at all. That doesn't make any sense. We have to start with the first step. What can we do? We have to bring the Word of God to our brothers and sisters. We have a lot of you people that have bought videos. And we've suggested
share them.
You get together. You don't sit home and watch the video. You bring a group of people in, 10, 15.
Or maybe watch it first so that you can,
let me tell you what a man
kind
did
of facilitate
in Brooklyn, in the Diocese of Brooklyn. He got the bishop's
approval. That's where I was
approval.
born, everyone.
Our most popular video is the Miracles of the Eucharist video, and it has always been since 1988. So he bought about 30.
50.
What? 50. He bought 50?
50.
50. He bought 50. And
well,
so,
that's why
and he
we're only
went into
one
these
person.
various apartment houses in Brooklyn, and each night a different floor would get the video. And everybody on the floor would go in and watch the video in somebody's house, and then they would share testimony, give testimony. This went on all over Brooklyn for a period of maybe a year. He just went to different apartment house complexes and did this. So we said to some of the people here that bought videos, take the video, get a group of 5 or 10 people in, share the video, and then share about what you saw, what you learned.
What does it mean to
And-
you?
and build
What does the
from
church
that.
mean to you? It's such an excellent way to evangelize. So the reason we shared this today was because the Holy Spirit used a family to ask us, how do we go about bringing people into a ministry? You don't. You don't do anything. You become a vessel, and you just ask the Lord to provide. Since I've been here, all I have heard is, let go, let go, let go. Can I share something with you? Last night, when I go into a strange church, where I don't know the people, know everybody, I always take my purse with me because I carry my jewelry. I don't
Well, in
carry a
Europe
lot.
and Mexico, when we go on pilgrimage,
You must
it's
never
a
leave.
discipline that nobody goes up to receive communion without taking their camera and their purse, because you come back, it could be gone.
And
this
we've
happened
had that.
in the cathedral in Mexico City, and just wiped somebody out that left their stuff.
So it's a discipline. I always take the purse. Last night, clear. Do not take that purse. I'm very uncomfortable. I got my favorite pearls are in there. I got the ring that my son gave me. I'm uncomfortable. He says, do not take that purse. And then the word, let go. Let go. I left the purse. I'm walking up. I want to look back. And he says, let go.
She wants to see who's going to steal it.
Let go. Let go. Just now, you may have seen my husband on the phone. And I'm going to share something with you.
Comedy of errors. We have lots of comedy of errors.
Our life is one big comedy. And it's usually around me. We had a safe where I keep my jewelry. And I've never
And
bought a
papers,
piece of
mostly
jewelry.
important papers.
It's just jewelry that my family's given to me. And that's very precious because my family gave. So, okay.
But the safe
I
was,
couldn't open
it
the
was a
safe.
heavy safe that I would have to pull
Pull
out
out.
and open it and go like this so she could get into it. And this bothered her for years. For
So
many years.
90% of the time, I never wore anything, which I don't wear
So
much
this
jewelry
year,
anyway.
as a Valentine present, she asked for a Valentine's Day present, was to get her a safe that just sits this way and it's digital and you just press numbers and you open it up. And so we did. We bought her this great Valentine present. We put it in the attic, so you could just open a door and get to it. And she, whenever she wants to go, she just presses little numbers, pulls it out.
Of course, the
It's
handle is so hard,
It's
I
still-
can't do it. I
well,
still
it's-
need it.
it's sticky.
Anyway,
But it's okay.
we leave, and I say to my Luz Elena, I have a silver necklace that has my son's, middle name was Christopher, and it has his St. Christopher medal on there. I said, honey, I left that out. So I said, when you get a chance, would you put it in the safe? She said, all right, Mom. She puts it in the safe, and the safe is a mean safe.
And she couldn't close. She couldn't work that
There's
thing.
a thing in there that comes up. If you're
She
not
couldn't
careful.
get it down,
She
which all
couldn't
you
get
have
it
to do is
down.
go like this, it'll go down, but she didn't know that. And so she tried to close it and couldn't close it because she didn't know how to get this down. And so she pushed in this lock that locks everything. And you need a key now to open that lock. And,
But the safe,
and we don't know, we forgot where we put the key.
but the safe is open,
Wide open.
unlocked. And the word I got again was, let go.
Now we don't know if we can't figure out where that key is, that safe may not be closed until we get back from 10 days from now, when we get back from Southern California.
We've
may
got
find
to
it.
let go.
Yes, darling. We must let
You know what I'm saying? Just, okay, when we first started our ministry, you got to remember, we were business people all our lives. And we made a lot of money in our lifetime. Like
We
Father
sold,
Phil
we used to
and all-
sell gift items to retail stores, all country
Your department store,
country stores.
Foley's.
We used to
It's
sell
like
to
that.
them and the people, Joski's before Dillard's came in. We sold all those.
So we sold to all those stores. All right. The Lord tells me for 3 years, sell everything you have and follow me. Well, it's in our book. Finally, the Lord hits us with a 4x4 to the head, and
we can't sell anything, but we had money. We had about $100,000 in the bank. We had some property in community and
Trade show, at a
trade
trade
show,
show.
which was worth about $20,000 a year. A woman owed us money. We'd sold the business to her, and we figured maybe $10,000 from that.